don't even have to speak. I hear what you're telling me. The broken can be beautiful again. The broken can be beautiful.
Hi, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Destiny. Welcome back to Ounces and Miracles. Today we're joined by Raven. Thank you so much for being here with us today to share your journey.
Thank you. To start, can you tell us about Mariana and what was she like? Just as a daughter, as a person?
Mariana was the most sweetest little girl you could ever meet. Very smart. My daughter had brain injury due to birth, so she had cerebral palsy, seizures, respiratory issues. She was G-tube fed all her life. Even though she couldn't talk, she wasn't verbal. She wasn't able to walk. Even though she wasn't powerful or anything, she expressed in her own ways was how loving she is, how she felt the love from my family. So it was like her unique way of talking to us. Very energetic, very alert. She knew what was going around her.
So, can you tell us a little bit about her birth? We know she was born full term, but I know you said that she had a brain injury. So, what happened there?
So throughout my pregnancy, I had a healthy pregnancy. I will say one thing was I was overweight when I was pregnant with her. So I had a healthy pregnancy. I carried her full term. I had her at 40 weeks. The day before I had her, I was having contractions really bad. So me and my now ex-husband, we went up to the hospital multiple times and they would monitor me and they would say I'm not having contractions when I know my body. Like, yeah, it was my first time carrying a child, being pregnant. Like, I felt like the doctors just thought it was just Braxton Hicks. But when I did my research and all that, the pain was not Braxton Hicks. So they kept on sending me home. And then later on throughout the day, the contractions were getting bad and bad and bad until like the nighttime. I want to say like around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. They were getting like very close together. And I would call my doctor and let her know. And all she would say was, why don't you just go ahead and take a shower? It's just probably Braxton Hicks, blah, blah, blah. So I took a shower and everything. Didn't work. So I laid down in the bed and by like, I want to say 11:30 p.m., close to 12 a.m., my water broke. And then that's when my contractions were every 1 to 2 minutes apart. So, my ex-husband, drove us to the hospital. I delivered at, Howard County General Hospital in Columbia. Um, we and that hospital is not close to where I was living at the time. So it was like a 25, 30-minute drive. So having contractions that close together and then in the car and then driving that far, like it was I can't even explain the thing, honestly.
Yeah.
But so we got to the hospital. They took me to the triage to check in and everything, which I already did all that. Usually, well, at my doctor's office, like weeks before your due date, you're supposed to do the early check-in and all that other things. Supposedly, they didn't have any of my information for that, so they wanted me to sit there and like go through insurance and all this crazy stuff, knowing that I'm telling you guys my contractions are 1 to 2 minutes apart. I'm in pain. I can't do it right now. So I guess with my attitude, because I'm very sassy, um, they just took me right on back. And then my ex-husband came and they put me in the room, and they said I was, I want to say 5 centimeters dilated, and my water did break. So so they put me in the delivering room, and when they put me in the delivery room, I automatically asked for epidural because I could not do the pain. Like I said in the beginning, I was overweight when I had my daughter, and when I asked for an epidural, the anesthesiologist came and said, "We don't have a needle big enough for your back."
What?
So they gave me a different medication, pain medicine, but it wasn't epidural. So it kind of eased my pain a little bit. But when they told my ex-husband that, my ex-husband called my parents because I didn't let them know that like my water broke and everything. But he contacted my parents, and my dad was livid. They got up there within 15 minutes. And my dad like raised hell. And they got the head anesthesiologist to come in, and my dad talked to them, and the Howard County General Hospital is connected with John Hopkins Hospital. So my dad was telling them that's unacceptable. She's in pain. They're telling me in this hospital you don't have a needle big enough for her back, or can you call downtown to get a needle that's big enough for her like back? So the head of anesthesiologist, I wanted to kiss him. He was able to get the small needle, as they say,
Right.
in my back. So once I got the epidural, all I can remember it was I fell asleep, and then I just woke up at 8 a.m. Woke up and I felt the urge that I had to push. So of course I'm like, I had the monitors and everything, and I was at 10 centimeters, and they said I can push. So I started pushing and everything. I don't know what the time was or anything like that, but so I started pushing, and she started coming out, but they were having a hard time getting her out. And they gave me an option to either get a C-section or we can use a vacuum. Uh, Not, I never researched about C-section or vacuums or any other way of trying to get a child out. So I was scared to get cut open. Well, that's one thing I do know about C-sections, they cut you open. I didn't want that. So I said the vacuum. But then the nurse who was there while I was in labor, she was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to do that." And then the doctor came in and asked me what was my choice, and I said I will want to do the vacuum. Then the nurse whispered in my ear again and said, "Don't let anybody bully you to do something you don't want to do." So I said, "Never mind. I changed my mind. I want to do C-section." The doctor said, "Well, why don't we try this first? And then if this doesn't work, then we'll do a C-section." But I kept on telling her my parents were there, my ex-husband was there, and my two sisters were there. And they even told the doctor that she said she changed her mind. She wants a C-section. The doctor seemed to just do the vacuum. So when I felt the urge to push again, that's when they put the vacuum on her head, and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and she's coming out, and everybody's telling me, like, keep on pushing, keep on pushing. So I did, and then all of a sudden everybody was just quiet, and their face was just like blank. And then all I could hear the doctor say was, "Oh," and she came out. I didn't get to hear her cry. My first feeling that something was wrong. Um, so it comes to find out, she had her umbilical cord wrapped around her neck twice. So they cut it, and all I could see was a whole bunch of nurses hovering over her, and they had to resuscitate her. She came out blue. So once they did all that, rushed her to the NICU. Nobody told me what was going on, what happened, until 2 hours later. They said they had to fly her to Johns Hopkins downtown, and I had to get in the ambulance, and they rushed us to the hospital. So we got to the Johns Hopkins Hospital, and they had to do a cooling process, which is um, what they do for babies who had lack of oxygen that goes to the brain. She was in the NICU for 27 days of her life fighting. They almost everything. I was there every day. I stayed longer, and then once I couldn't stay, and, I was up there every day, all day, checking on her and just seeing if she's progressing or not. They were telling me she wasn't going to make it after she was done with the cooling process. So they cool her and then they warm her back up. Then they, CAT scans of the brain. So 90% of her brain was damaged due to the lack of oxygen. Um, yeah, they told me she wasn't gonna make it, but luckily she did. And we were able to take her home after 27 days of being in the NICU. John Hopkins did a wonderful job with my daughter. Um, so she came home, and at first she was on oxygen, and then I want to say about she was 4.5 months. She was off of it, and and she was able to drink at that time. But then she started having complications where she had to get the GT. Um, that was a scary moment for me because I don't know nothing about G2s. Um, and I work at a child development center. So she was, after I came back from maternity leave, she went to my job. And I would stress about that because my job isn't familiar with kids with G2s. G2 and oxygen. So that was a little stressful. So I extended my maternity leave to see like where we're gonna go and how is her lifestyle gonna be when I'm working and her being in childcare, things like that. Um, then she was just getting stronger and stronger day by day, and eventually she did not have oxygen. And she still had the G tube, but then she was like, we had to teach her how to feed.
Hmm.
So she still had her G tube, and then she was able to drink. Then we came to another problem, which was the seizures. She would have seizures almost every day, and they would call me um and like let me know like they're rushing her to the hospital, or I have to come get her and things like that. So it was so frequent, I just had to resign from my job. Um, so we could figure out how we can fix this or what can we do, because it was no point in me working there if I'm leaving every single day. So I resigned and I became a stay-at-home mom and took care of her. Um, I became a stay-at-home mom from birth all the way until pretty much all her life, all the way until she was 7. And well, yeah, until she was 7, and then I went back to work. But that's due to me and my ex-husband's separation and divorce. So, um, that's how my birth went. It was very, very, very traumatic. Um, I still suffer with that. I still like I can remember like it was yesterday.
I know that's hard. That's a lot. So you said you were a stay-at-home mom until she was 7. I know she passed away. What was the cause, if you're okay with talking about it? If not, we can get past that.
She passed away March 4th, 2025. I was at work. Um, I want to say so. I got a call from my mom. My daughter was with Gilchrist Kids, which is a hospice for children, and her nurse would come and visit her once a week. This would be every Wednesdays, and they check like her vitals. She's good. Her lungs sound good and everything. And she was back on oxygen. So she was on oxygen. She was still having respiratory issues. One of the kids were sick, but usually when the kids are sick, they try to isolate her from the kids. She has her own room. but germs are everywhere. To do everything in your power, spray Lysol from the ceiling to the ground. I mean, you can't prevent them. Um, her nurse said like, her lungs doesn't sound. It sounds a little coarse, and her uh her oxygen level was low. It was in the 80s, and she was working very hard. Like you could see it right here. Her nose was flaring, some her rib cage. So my mom called me and said she was they were on the way to the hospital. They had to call the ambulance, and they had to rush to John Hopkins because she was having it was respiratory distress. Um, so they checked her out, everything, did blood culture and all that, and X-rays, and comes to find out she has pneumonia, not in one lung but both lungs.
Goodness.
So she was admitted to um, um, she was there for about a week, um, and they did it's a bypass where it pushes like a whole bunch of oxygen and to fill up her lungs. They gave her antibiotics, like they've done everything. Um, they told me like she's not getting better, um, and what would I like to do? Like to continue to do this, or they put a breathing tube down. Um, as a mother, of I was trying to do everything to keep her here. So I said I wanted the breathing tube. So they placed the breathing tube in. Um, she was doing good. She was doing good. When I saw her that morning on March 4th, she was doing good. Me and my parents hung out with her throughout the day. Then we went home because I have two other kids. Um, we went home, and I was in bed, and I got a phone call from John Hopkins. And usually, if they're calling you that late or calling you, period, it's really not, especially that late. It was like around 9 p.m. It's not good news. So they told me she was not doing good. Um, that she wasn't doing good and that they needed me to come down. So I called my parents. They came and picked me up. We head down. Um, the breathing tube was not working. And then on top of the pneumonia, they found out in her labs that she had infection in her blood. They said they tried, and they asked me if I want to continue or can, even though I wanted her there with me still. She suffered enough. So I decided to take it time.
Wow. How old was she when this happened?
She was 7 days in the speak.
It's just like What were like some of you and her's favorite things to do or things that brought you both joy?
Mariana, she just loves the music. I love music. She loves music, and she definitely loves when you sing to her. So I'll make up a whole bunch of different songs, sing to her, and then I'll just put a smile on her face, and her eyes get all bright, and she'll do like movements and like move her arm up. So those like things like that are just me and her time. She loved me and her time, or her and my family time, just showing her love.
Yeah.
Like we just love showing her love, and she loves giving the love. So those are like, even though we went through some storms, we still had good times. She
Mhm.
she was able to do things with us. There's certain things she couldn't do with us, but I would say just spending time with each other.
So what was it like for you after she was born as a mother to step into the role of caregiver and advocate?
It was stressful because, like I said, this is my first time being a mother, so all I'm focused is on being a good mother, not being a mother, being a nurse, being a teacher, being an advocate. Like I wasn't expecting to wear all these hats just once. So I would say it was stressful, but throughout the years, like I want to say the first 2 years, I started getting the hang of it. And then not only that, my family is very supportive, and they're very hands on. So if I need anything, they're there.
Yeah.
If I need a mental break, they're there.
That's good.
It's To me, it's very important to have, as my mom says, a village. Because if I didn't have a village, I don't honestly, I don't know how I would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. How did you balance being her mom while also managing the medical side of her care?
My family were very hands on. At the time when I was with my ex-husband, he would work. So for her, like she had a lot of appointments. Usually, I wouldn't go alone because she had oxygen, the feeding pump, um, a special stroller, and then a baby bag and things like that. So my mom always came with me to the appointments and helped me, because like I said, carrying a Marion, and I also have to carry her around because she couldn't walk. So my mom always was at the doctor's appointment. I was never alone, or my dad if my mom couldn't make it. That's how I
You had a good village.
Yeah, every time I would see her family being so involved, I would be a little jealous
Mm,
because not everyone has that, and that is a huge blessing. I love that your family was so hands-on, especially with how difficult that journey alone is.
mhm.
So what did you learn about strength, love, or even patience through Mariana's journey?
I learned that from her journey, I learned that you can love even without saying I love you. Like she will show me how much she loves me. Um, Not only me, my family. Um, Even though she couldn't say it, she showed it. Um, she showed me strength because she fought so hard from birth until all the way till she was 7. She was the one who pushed me to be strong and to get through things, not only for her, but for her siblings. Patience, because you have to take a lot of patience because doctor's appointments, you would think, oh, it's going to be a good doctor's appointment. And then one minute is a good appointment, next minute it's not. And then you're just sitting there like what the hell? Like, one minute you're saying she's good, and the next minute you're not saying she's good, or they say, oh, this is gonna take time to see if like any medication, was she was on a whole bunch of different medications. And then that medication don't work, and then you get frustrated, and then my family just tells me like, you got to be patient, like she's different from other children. This could work for them, but it can't work for her for this certain type of reason. That taught me to like be patient because things that happen like that is out of my control. So being impatient and all that other stuff, like what is that gonna do? I mean, it's not gonna change
Yeah.
anything. So that taught me to be patient.
Yeah. Were there any moments that you felt like the doctors weren't listening to you as much as you felt like they should have?
Definitely from birth, they didn't listen to me. Regardless if you got the equipment together to do what I said in the beginning, I changed my mind. You don't do what you want to do because you got all the stuff, you got all the staff to help, and I don't care. I told you I changed my mind.
Right.
So definitely birth, because from the jump, I think I skipped that part from the beginning, but she was in distress when I was pushing her for 3 hours. So that was automatically a C-section.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it should have been.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I want to say from birth, and I will always say from birth. And even throughout her journey and her appointments and things like that, I felt like they did listen to me about certain things because they did push me. A couple of years ago, she was having respiratory issues again, and they were talking about a trach, putting in a trach, and I didn't agree to that. I did my research. Like, ever since her birth, me and my family, like anything that happens to her, and they give us ideas and say, "Oh, maybe we should try this and that and the third. Oh, we'll get back to you. We'll research it, and we'll let you know everything we research." So when they brought up the trach, which that was like a whole week of us like thinking about it and researching what was happening with her, and then placing a trach, it wasn't really. She was going to be a risk, or so it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So I said, damn if I don't. So they listened to me about the trach, but that's because I had people on my side, and it wasn't just me. And I put my foot down. I didn't care how you sugarcoat it or how you word it. I did my research, and no, she's not getting it. So certain things like that was happening throughout her journey and hospital visits, they did listen. But from birth, I will always say they didn't listen, and they really didn't.
That's crazy. So, what do you think has helped the most for you in your first few months of grieving? And what has this part of the journey been like for you?
Still grieving, because she's been gone for 6 months. Um, but being around my family and I am in a relationship, so my boyfriend is very supportive and he's always there for me and the children. But just being around family and I have to be busy. I have to be busy to keep my mind off of it, not off of her, but just the whole experience. Sometimes, I mean, I have my days where I just cry, especially when I have two other kids. I have a boy and a girl, and they're 5 and I'm 4. So we call her Mary. They know Mary is gone. Um, um, I'm in her room right now. My youngest daughter, she'll say she misses Mary. I have a bear back there, Gilcrest made for me. Um, it's all her old clothes and bibs. And sometimes my daughter comes in here and says, I want to play with Mary. Mary says she wants to play with me. So she'll come in and like take the teddy bear. They play with the teddy bear and then they put the bear back when they have to go to bed. So like things like that, it breaks my heart. It's like they somewhat know what's going on, but they don't really know. And they weren't able to see her when she passed. They just knew she wasn't feeling good and she was in the hospital. They just know that Mary was gone. So things like it, it's tough. Like I said, I'm still grieving. I feel like I'm gonna grieve for a long time because that was my firstborn, and from birth until her death, it's just been tough.
Yeah, there's no timeline on grief, so you need to take as long as you need. It's hard. I I'm sorry. How do you hope that she will be remembered?
As you see on Facebook, I always post her. We have we have pictures at my parents' house here. Um, um, my daughter knows like my necklace. My necklace is a urn, and I have one. My mom has one. My sisters have one, and my dad has one. So so everybody will, always have her with us. But we always talk about all the good times, the good memories, not the bad. We just always talk about all the good memories. So we keep her alive pretty much. We never not talk about Miriam.
So, for other parents listening, whether they're walking through life with a medically complex child or grief after a loss, what message would you want them to hear from your story and a Mariana story?
Number one, for like medical, don't let the doctors like push you and make you think like this is the best thing for your child because sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. And to do your research, do your research to get off of my journey about caring for a child that has like special needs or anything. It's not easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy. Um, but push through it because you can do it. Um, especially if you have the village, take it. And as the loss, I want to say you have your days, and it's okay to have your days. You can only take it one day at a time. It is gonna hurt, but I wouldn't always think about the negative. I always think about the positive when she was here, because there was a lot of positive, even though there was negative.
Looking back, what do you hold most tightly when you think of your years with Mariana?
No, the times that I was able to spend with her from when she was an infant to always till she was 7, I was able. I was blessed to be there with her 24/7 um, before she passed. I know, like, some moms want to be single. I mean, not single, stay at home moms wants to be stay at home moms. Even though I did not want to be a stay at home mom, but I sacrificed and did it for her. And I'ma always hold that close to my heart because I was able to be there and advocate and teach her and care for her throughout all those years.
So, if you could speak directly to another mom that was facing the same journey as you, what would be your advice to them?
To keep your head up, um, because eventually it will get better. Um, take your time, take it day by day, um, and you'll make it through.
I agree with that. Do you, on an outside note, do you believe in like spirituality, mediumship sort of thing? I ask because I know when I had someone close to me pass, I did a mediumship, and I feel like it brought me a lot of comfort and closure to kind of heal from that sudden passing.
Mhm.
And I think as you're grieving, hearing her might help you know that you did a wonderful job being her mother.
Actually, I do, but I can tell that she is here with me. One night I texted my parents because I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard like a ruffle, like somebody, because I have snacks on the side of my bed. So it sounded like somebody was going through snacks. And I shined the light on on the side of the bed, and my Oreos were on the floor. I didn't have them on the floor. And then it sounds like I could hear somebody walking out of my room. And I could feel like that wasn't Mariana. And then one day, I was cleaning her room, and I heard noises in her room. And I said, Mary, are you in here? If you're in here, make a noise. And then I will hear a noise. So I know she's still here. Here.
So this is kind of random off topic as well. But do
Mhm.
you have like a symbol for her? Like my aunt passed a couple years ago and butterflies are her like symbol. Like when we see butterflies, we know it's her. Do you have something like that?
It's butterflies.
It is. I love that. Oh, sweet baby. So
Yeah.
have you all started like any new family traditions or anything like that to kind of keep her memory alive?
We're going to continue our tradition that we did do while she was here. Her birthday is December 28th, and we will always go to the National Harbor and go to the Gaylord, and they do all the Winter Wonderland things. So this year will be the first year that we celebrate her birthday, and she's not here. So we're still gonna continue that tradition.
I love that, and I'm sure she would too.
I agree. I know it's hard, but I also hope you know that you did everything for her, and her still being there with you says that. She adores you because you fought so hard for her, even when, unfortunately, the medical staff completely disregarded the clear signs of what they shouldn't have. And, I can't apologize enough for that.
It's crazy. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for opening your heart and sharing with us today, because I know that had to be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, your time is appreciated more than you know. We are here to share, like, any support, advice, advocacy tips, and more, because nobody should have to walk that journey alone, and thankfully, you had a wonderful family there to help you along that way. And any family members who are listening or, like, friends who aren't sure how to support NICU parents through this space is for you too. We're hoping that this will help get stories out and help families kinda guide you on how to help them through this situation, as difficult as it is when you're not sure how to be supportive.
And you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you'd like to share your story or learn more, we'd love to connect. And if you're a medical professional and would like to share your perspective, we'd love to hear from you too.
And remember, every ounce.
Truly is a miracle.
Bye.